What's up, everyone? Yet another week. It's getting it's getting more and more crazy each week. It's almost like a real life soap we're living in. Today, I wanted to zoom in a little bit more about what I think basically is the decline of the dollar and maybe even the massive adoption of the Bitcoin, uh, which could very well hedge against the dollars. Basically, protect your assets by buying Bitcoin, which could spark a massive Bitcoin run in the future. Now, this might not happen. It might happen over time, but I think all signs are actually pointing in this direction because as Trump posted his big win last week, which is actually not a win, it's actually a reduction of the losses he incurred. Uh, but in essence, it was still very good news for Bitcoin. It's bad news for the dollar in general, and I think American markets in general. But for crypto, it's actually very good news. Now, I did talk a little bit about this last week, but I think there's a few more news articles substantiating the same thing. Yeah, but let's just get into the video. Once again, if you like this video, please do me a solid and subscribe. And if you can, just let the video run. If you don't like the sound of my voice, mute it, whatever. But yeah, let's get into it. So, as I said, today I wanted to zoom in a little bit more. We're still in this extreme, well, not extreme fear, but fear area. And I think over a long term, we're gonna see a lot more fear in markets, especially the altcoins. We can see Ethereum has absolutely been decimated. Uh, as opposed to its previous all-time highs. Even when Bitcoin was still at 70K, Ethereum's been way higher. Ethereum is taking a bigger hit. Basically all altcoins are taking big hits because Bitcoin's being seen as the legitimate crypto, and all the other altcoins, I think they've done in by meme coins. I think meme coins, rug pulls, scams have been chipping away at the faith of legitimate altcoins, legitimate projects. Um, but Bitcoin is the most recognizable one. Everybody knows Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the one that's being adopted, ETFs, and obviously there's some ETFs on smaller coins as well. But Bitcoin is basically the mother of all crypto, and the thing countries are trying to adopt. And if countries do this, as ETFs allow, legitimate investing into these ETFs, and people, retail investors, find it easier to buy Bitcoin without being scammed, being able to buy it legitimately, will flow naturally flow cash to Bitcoin, and especially if the dollar starts dropping more than it already did. If the Bitcoin, if yeah, basically if dollars start devaluating more and more, Bitcoin becomes more and more valuable because the same thing happened in Turkey. If their native native currency starts dropping, people start buying gold, physical gold, silver, uh, and Bitcoin. It's already happening. This is already happening. Like, we actually have, as the U.S. government debt sell off, the dollar is devaluating, and we can already see Bitcoin and gold show loss of confidence in fiat, says Galaxy CEO. According to the Galaxy, Bitcoin reflects far more than speculative trading. Rather, it's a direct response to growing macroeconomic instability and a shift in global financial architecture. Now, this is exactly the point I'm trying to make. As the dollar, like, we can see it here. This is the euro dollar, and I live in the EU, so yeah, for me it's actually a good thing. I'm able to buy more dollars cheaply because I hold a lot of stocks, US stocks in US dollars. So I'm able to buy more stocks for the same amount of euros, or more stocks for less euros, basically. So this is actually quite good. But this price level of $1.14, as opposed to needing €1 to buy it, has not been seen. since 2022. And yes, it came close, and yes, it fluctuated a lot. But if you can see how far the euro has come as opposed to that point, I think the decline of the dollar is definitely being set in motion more and more. And I also think that Trump has overplayed his tariff hand, because what he's now, well, I won't say forced, but he basically forced the hand of China and other countries, and they're starting to work together against the US. And I think this could very well spark a very big anti-US dollar revolution, especially because already BRICS countries were already looking at doing this. They were already trying to find ways around the dollar. And now, as opposed to just the BRICS countries, a lot of other countries are also looking to do the same. So they're trying to decouple themselves from US dollar markets. Now, as this happens, the dollar will start losing more and more value. Now, obviously, it will not go to zero. It will not hyperinflate, or at least not in a very short term. But on the longer term, and I'm a long term investor because I'm quite young, I'm looking at the next 10 or 20 years. Uh, Let me put it first: the lower we go, the better for me. Yeah, that's the, and maybe you too. Like, it depends on how you're looking at these markets, but the lower we go, the better, the cheaper we're able to buy everything. But it could also, as stock markets, as global markets decline, it could spark a run on Bitcoin. Now, we could very well, Bitcoin could drop as this happens as well. It could drop alongside it, but eventually it will reach a turning point. Eventually it will shift and it will break free from that dollar decline. That's what I'm thinking, at least. So, as I said, I'm not the only one that does this, because as everything else is dropping, Bitcoin is relatively stable, especially considering it's a crypto and still quite easily influenced. I think it's relatively stable, and it could start to trade the other way. As everything else declines, Bitcoin could start going up. So any amount of Bitcoin I'm able to buy before that is a good thing. I do think there's a room for altcoins. I do think eventually legitimate altcoins will start showing the same curve. Obviously, they have been hit a lot harder, but I also think, like, usually we have bull runs, we had altcoin pushes, altcoin markets, and but they were fueled speculatively, and this is fueled from basically from economies, global markets. This is a different. It's a different ballgame. I think this is a completely different situation from what we've seen before, from what we've seen in the past, and I think it will create a lot of opportunities. I think American economies will be hit the hardest, and yeah, if you have a stable base, if you're able to buy and invest money, and you're able to invest it long term, I think this is the time that we this is our time. This is the time we need to be sharp. We need to look at our portfolios and invest accordingly. And it will be counterintuitive, because we will be buying dropping assets and buying red assets, buying assets that are devaluating. So you buy something, it devaluates overnight. It will feel very counterintuitive, but eventually we will reach that turning point. And this is our time. As I said, like, if we will look back at the Bitcoin market, or if we look back at the BTC USDT, let's grab the USD market. If we look at the longer term, like, we will be buying these red candles across all markets. I'm talking stocks, I'm talking crypto, I'm talking maybe even metal, silver, other maybe other assets, stuff you're buying. And even here, like, you have to have the resolve to buy through these times, through these rough times. But as you can see, like, if you bought Bitcoin here and you keep buying all the way down and all the way back up, eventually we will reach this area. And that is how basic economics work. Every year, more money is produced, more money is printed, more money is shifted into markets. Um, so eventually, throughout these downturns, more money will start to flow back in, and we make our returns. But that is only if we keep are resolved through these times. And of course, not selling at a loss. And that takes strength, it takes time. But that is, I think, the reality in which we're headed. Bear market territory for the next 4 years at least, and maybe even longer after that. Nobody knows for sure. But I think, considering the amount of damage the markets have already taken, and it's only been a few months, we are not nearly at the end of all the bloody red pain days. But I think that's a positive for investors like us. Investors are always looking at opportunities, and I think this will be global opportunities, big opportunities. I think this is the time to move, and I will try to report about it weekly. And if I'm completely wrong, feel free to share it. Feel free to approach and talk about it. If you want, I have a completely free Discord link in the comments below. Feel free to join that. Feel free to ask me anything. I love discussing these things. It's one of my favorite hobbies, and so far I've made quite a bit of money on it as well. So why not talk about it? Yeah. Once again, if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have anything you want me to talk about, feel free to leave a comment as well. I'll try to work it into the next video. I'm also working on a few new projects, and one of them is trying to automate all this trading. And I've not found a uh, good enough program for it yet, but I think that will be a very fun video, and I'll try to make it as soon as possible. As soon as I'm able to program it accordingly, I'll uh, I'll put something into play. All right, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.